I told you guys that the sportsbooks have secret ways of hidden messaging to force you to be able to make bad bets? Well, that's what I'm going to go over with you guys in this video. So the first thing is going to be when you start actually winning. The sportsbooks don't like that. So they start to limit you. So you could see this, happening as, let's say, you're about to go in and put a prop play in on FanDuel or DraftKings. As soon as you put it in, a little red icon pops up. It says you can only bet about $200. All right, that's the max bet that you could do. So this is what happens when you actually start winning. So what they do is they force you to bet a small amount of money, or they force you just not to bet at all, because then you're like, oh, it's not even worth it. They're not built off of winners. Even the DraftKings CEO, he went public and was like, we don't want sports bettors that know what they're doing, or sports bettors that are going to have a mindset that they're trying to make money long term. We don't want them a part of our sports books. Now, the reasoning behind that is because obviously that they're a business too, so they don't want you to be making money off them, because then they wouldn't exist. So how to combat that? Because I gave you the problem, but how do you fix that? You have to have multiple accounts. You go deep into your family members and you make accounts with all of them, and you bet small amounts of money at each account. Because if you do that, then it kind of flies under the radar a bit. You're not going to get caught. They're not going to ban you completely, and they're not going to limit you. They don't know that, oh, if you're betting $200, but if you have it at 5 accounts, you're actually betting $1,000 on that bet. They don't know that because you got 5 different accounts that are doing it. That's how you can kind of manipulate being limited and not getting banned, because sometimes they will ban you completely. I got a letter, an email from BetMGM. They completely banned me. BetMGM will not let me even place a bet there anymore, and they told me don't make any future accounts anywhere else, no matter where you're at, because we're not going to allow you to do it. All right, and that was just like my max that I play as a unit size is 1,000. Now the problem is, like with me, the problem is because BetMGM in Vegas, BetMGM in Arizona, BetMGM in Colorado, they're all different. They're not the same network, you see. So I have to travel to Arizona to be able to bet on BetMGM to get the odds that I want, to get the plays that I want. So it's tough to have multiple accounts to do that on, because you actually physically have to go out there, because I don't live there. Next thing is going to be the hidden messaging in commercials. I mean, how many times do we see DraftKings commercials? We see FanDuel commercials. We see Caesars commercials. How many times do we see that on a regular basis just watching a game? You see it pop up all the time. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to transition into the computer, and I'm going to show you guys on FanDuel, on DraftKings, kind of what I'm talking about. You guys can see FanDuel right now. So you see the no sweat first bet, $3,000, you get it back in bonuses and everything like that, all that mumbo jumbo. So what that entails is they're trying to grab the audience that's never bet before, okay? So, and you just make an account, and they're like, oh, put $3,000 down, and guess what? If you lose, you're going to get your money back. So your average human's like, oh, that's a hell of a deal. I'm going to do that. So here's the problem with that is once you put in like that $1,000 bet or something, because you're thinking it's no sweat, I'm going to get it back. If you win, you're done. All right, because now you've won $1,000 bet. Now you're in the sports betting world. You're in the gambling mentality now. Now you think like, I just won free money. I didn't do anything for that money. I had fun. I actually watched a game and had fun, and I made money with it. So guess what? You're coming right back to the sports book. You're going to start betting even more. And if you don't do it the correct way, obviously you end up losing everything. Another tactic that goes along with that is $1,000 bet. You lose. They give you the $1,000 back in free play. So now you're going to go and you're going to gamble again. You're going to go and place another bet. So whether you win or lose that bet, to be honest with you, if you're a first-time sports bettor and you lose that bet as well and you've lost everything, probably the best thing that could happen to you if, for a long-term value of being a gambler, because if you just lose right off the bat, you're like, this is stupid, I'll probably never do it again. Another thing, the same game parlay, they make it so easy for you to just click the button. Look, SGA 30 plus points, Anthony Davis 25 plus points, and LeBron 35 plus points. You know the odds of all three of those guys scoring that amount of points? They all have to do that for you to end up winning. And they end up throwing that out to you like, here, it'll probably happen. Why don't you go bet it? Guess what? It's a horrible bet. Now let's go over to DraftKings. DraftKings, what they'll do is they'll throw some like stupid bet up and give it a boost. First team to score in the Super Bowl, we'll boost it to plus 150, just so that way they get you to throw some money on it. First team to score, like that's not a good bet. It's just not a good bet at all. Those are all low probabilities. You're gonna lose betting that stuff. Another one would be Caesars. Caesars does the same thing with the $10, $100, the risk-free. You bet it, you're going to get it back. It does not matter. Even if you lose, we're going to give you that money back. When they give you the money back, you're going to spend it right back at the sports book. If you don't get the money back and you win your bet, now you're hooked in the circle of sports betting. So if you don't know what you're doing when it comes to sports betting, you need to seek out somebody that actually does. If you guys are interested in me showing you exactly how to do this stuff, make sure you guys go down in the description, click the link. You can work with me one-on-one. I'll show you guys exactly how to do this. Even if you're a first-time sports bettor, teach you the right way to do it because it's very dangerous right off the bat. Offshore sports books, they hit you hard with the rollover. It's usually like 10x. So let's say for an example, you put $1,000 in, you get $1,000 free play on an offshore sports book, you got to spend 10x that, all right? So you need to spend $10,000 in sports bets to even get any money back, like to be able to cash your own money that is yours. You need to bet $10,000 to even have access to your own money. So your own money is screwed right off the bat. And then sometimes in those offshore ones, sometimes you have like a limit where you have to like spend 10x in like 14 days or something like that. People that are just coming into sports betting, you need to know these things and not get trapped in a web to where they're just going to drain you, take all your money, or they're going to mess with your mind, and then that leads to having a gambling problem. I just wanted to let you guys know exactly, the industry, if you're not already involved in it and you're just starting to get involved in it, that it's cutthroat. They don't want you to win. When you do win, they're going to take it away from you. So you got to find ways to kind of slither through the cracks and stay under the radar. When it comes to sports betting, make sure you go into it with an open mind and listen to the people that have did it. All right, don't think you know how to do all the sports betting stuff and parlays and you know how to do all this other garbage and stuff like that. Go in with an open mind and learn from people that are actually doing it and people that are doing it at a high level.